What if the thing stopping you from hitting 10K a month is not your marketing, but because your business model isn't set up to easily let you get there? This is one of the big reasons why before every live round of 10K monthly content system, our next one is coming up really soon, I do bonus sessions where we focus on your business model. Does it make sense? Does it support your goals so that the monthly content system can do its thing and help you scale to consistent 10K months? In this video, I'm going to take you behind the scenes of some of those calls from last year's live round by giving you some mini case studies of 5 different business models that all went on to reach 10K a month, whether they were brand new business owners or had been struggling with inconsistency in terms of both their content and their revenue for years. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Haley Dale, a content and marketing strategist for coaches, course creators, and service providers. I run 2 main programs in my business: Signature 50K months for people who've hit 10K consistently and are up for the next challenge of scaling to 50K, and 10K monthly content systems for those who have yet to crack consistent 10K months. I'm coming up to my annual live round of the 10K monthly content system, and I couldn't be more excited because I feel like this year more than ever has required our businesses to lean even more into content, but completely differently than it has in the past in order to succeed and break through in a saturated market. There is a bonus that I always include for the live round of 10K monthly content system, and that is a one-on-one business mapping session. I offer these because I find that people come into the program often with business models or offer suites that are completely working against them in their quest to scale their revenue. Bloated offers, misaligned audiences, sales systems that are broken. And I want to prove that 10K months are possible no matter what your business model is, even if you have to make some shifts and adjustments and realignments. So in this video, I'm giving you a little behind the scenes peek at 5 different business models and how we fix them before the program to hit 10K months, starting with a business coaching model. Case study number 1 is for this business coach who started her business less than a year ago, or she's been in it for 2 years at this point. Up until this point, she'd done one-off sessions, but was having trouble figuring out her main package. And so she kept switching them up. And every time something wouldn't work, she'd switch to something else. And because she was so stuck in creation mode, she spent very little time on her marketing and sales, which was why she joined 10K monthly content systems. In our bonus business model mapping session, we focused on business model redesign. So we started by figuring out her weekly capacity for one-on-one sessions and figured out how this matched up to her revenue plan, right? That helped us reverse engineer our way into her pricing. So this helped us, like I said, come up with pricing and packages that made sense from her financial goals perspective, which also gave us a lot of clarity on what needed to happen. So because she didn't have a lot of social proof yet, we designed 2 offers: a productized one-off call that she could deliver in her sleep that had a consistent deliverable, and the outcome that was, the perfect lead in for her longer term package. She priced this at $147 and created an automated onboarding and offboarding workflow to uplevel the experience and save time. What this let her do, because we created this very simple call and it was at a no-brainer price point for what it delivered, is it helped her get a lot of social proof right up front, plus helped her upsell these people into her main package. So her main offer was a 3-month coaching package with bi-weekly sessions priced at $1,500. The plan was to raise the price by $500 every 5 clients as her social proof and experience grew until she was at $4,500 for that package, which was her goal. And she has since, in the time recording this now, has raised it to $2,500. So she's steadily on her way there. Once she had 10 clients, she would be able to quit her job, which she's done now, and her capacity to take on more clients would increase as well. The next thing we focused on, because we get a lot done in these bonus calls, was her simple sales system. So we designed a super simple sales system to help her generate leads and grow her audience, a no-brainer freebie, which led to her one-off call, which led to an upgrade to her full package. For anyone who doesn't buy her one-off call, they're invited to a free consultation call to learn more about that 3-month coaching package. So we have multiple inroads that are all leading to that one place, no matter how they come in. So we put a measurement system into place to monitor her close rates and the number of people who were invited to the offer. Since the funnel was so simple, she was able to optimize one thing for it every single week using a 90-day roadmap that we designed. These 3 shifts also set her up perfectly for going through the 10K monthly content system, and she quickly got her first 13 clients, raised her price, quit her job to do coaching full time, and now runs the content campaign that she learned about in the program to book 5 new clients a month in addition to her re-signs. The content campaign is the exact same one that I talked about in last week's video if you want to check it out. Another student is a web designer who works with 1 client a month to design, develop, and launch their websites. She was not comfortable with the idea of raising her prices or taking on additional websites, which kind of had her capped at $5K a month. She was also losing out on potential clients because they didn't want to wait around for her next availability, which was often 3 to 4 months out. She was at a real crossroads of, do I hire someone so I can take on more? In her pre-program bonus session, we brainstormed lots of potential solutions, but came up with these. Her business model redesign, we added a design retainer for existing clients. She already knew their website. She already had a good handle on their brands. She picked 1 day a week to dedicate to the retainer and rolled it out right away to her list of past clients who scooped up all of the spots she had available for ongoing design work, website maintenance, and support pretty much right away. She also launched a website planning VIP day for clients who wanted to get started right away or DIY the design part themselves to help them get their website all organized, their web asset to-do list prepped, and ask questions via Voxer for a couple of weeks after. These changes got her to over 10K, and then she was all ready to maximize her content and marketing using the 10K monthly content system that will work to help keep her pipeline full. For this upcoming round of 10K monthly content system, I'll be offering these pre-programmed sessions again to the first handful of people who sign up. Enrollment opens up on September 25th, so stay tuned for details. Business model number 3 is group program. So here's another example that I think perfectly illustrates why we do these business model alignment calls before the 10K monthly live round. I worked with a coach who runs a group program, and when we hopped on her pre-program bonus call, her biggest impediment to 10K months wasn't her expertise or her content quality. It was the way her group program was structured, because believe me, she was showing up, she was doing the work, she was super consistent with her content, and like her content was really great. The hooks she was coming up with, she was doing a really great job of speaking to her ideal clients. However, instead of having rolling enrollment where people could join her group program anytime they were most interested, she ran cohorts and only opened up enrollment every few months. And here's the kink. In between those open enrollment periods, she did not have anything else that she was selling. It was really just driving people to a wait list that they could join for when she was ready to open it up, and she directed people there. Very few people signed up for that interest list anyways, and it was because the offer, when they were most interested in joining that group program, it wasn't open for them to enroll, and so they were looking to other options and different solutions to try those instead. So here is where it gets really strategic. She found it hard to stay consistent with content. She would go through these periods where she would be super consistent. And like I said, her content was really great. So she'd go through these periods where she would stay super consistent with her content, but it was tough when it felt like she didn't have anything to point people towards. So she would take long breaks in between. Can you relate? When there's no clear next step for your audience, content creation starts to feel a little bit pointless. So during our pre-program, our bonus call where we do the business mapping, we reworked her business model so that her program, her group program, we switched it to a rolling enrollment so that people could join when they were most interested in working on solving on this problem, when they were most ready to invest in some kind of solution. And because she could take them in right away and help them with that, it wasn't something that they needed to go find other support for, because she built up a lot of trust with them, and it was just creating the inroads for her. Here's what I love the most about this transformation is we also introduced an upsell offer, because she'd be having people constantly ask her, hey, can I just sign up for the group program again? But since it was cohort based, she wanted everyone at the same level, but people were asking for more, and she was just having to turn people away. So we created a hybrid one-on-one option with some one-on-one calls, some group access thrown in for people who, wanted to continue and carry on with the support that they'd gotten through that group program and continue working with her. These changes made marketing and content make so much more sense for her business, because she always had something to point people towards. Additionally, one of the biggest takeaways that she told me she had from the 10K monthly content system program was with the monthly content campaign method. Like I said, we covered that in the previous video if you want to check it out. She found that for 3 weeks of the month, she could just focus on one key aspect of her framework and really spend her time going deep on that one thing, right? She built it out. She created 3 great long form pieces of content around it with accompanying social media and newsletters that all drove traffic back to that long form piece of content. So that was her focus for 3 weeks of the month around that theme. And then she would have 1 week every single month where she switched gears into selling mode for inviting people into the program. And it was such a natural evolution for them to join, because she'd spent 3 weeks on this theme and could tailor the invitations to that theme as well. So everything really flowed and really felt aligned. It was open anytime. The group program was open anytime, but that was her dedicated invitation phase with limited time bonuses. And immediately that started paying off, because she was selling more, she was making more in her business as well. The bottom line is that group programs can absolutely get you to 10K, but the structure and enrollment strategy makes all the difference. Rolling enrollment plus consistent content plus clear call to actions equals sustainable growth. Business model number 4, digital products. Let me be completely honest with you. This is probably what I would point to as one of the most challenging business models when it comes to scaling to 10K months. And here's why. When you're working on a volume model versus a premium pricing model, you need a lot more transactions at lower price points rather than fewer sales at higher amounts. And that requires a completely different content and marketing strategy. I had a brand new business owner join the program whose vision it was to create a digital product around budgeting and meal planning, basically digital products for the home and for stay-at-home moms. She thought that it would be fun and easy to create these products and wanted to figure out a business model that would actually work before diving into the 10K monthly content system. Here's what she was starting with: no audience, no email list, just a website, that's it. So during our pre-program bonus call, we designed a monthly business model. Here is how it worked. Every month, she would focus her content, blog, social media, newsletters on one aspect that she was really passionate about and create one digital product around that topic. So monthly, she would create and sell one new digital product. But here's where it gets strategic. Her upsell was a monthly club where members get access to all of these monthly digital products, kind of like a mini membership. Plus, she would run monthly implementation challenges around each digital product. So the flow was this. Her core offer was individual digital products, and he priced anywhere between $19 to $29. Her first upsell was the implementation challenge at $47, and her second upsell was the monthly membership with access to everything for $27 a month. The reason this approach was genius is that for the first year, she could be building out her suite of digital products while creating multiple monetization pathways and some recurring revenue. As she focused on building her Instagram and Pinterest audience, she could also be generating sales at the same time. It became cumulative. Each month built on the last. The second thing we tackled in our bonus session was choosing the platforms that she wanted to focus on, because with digital products, your platform strategy is everything. So month 1 to 3, we focused on Pinterest and Instagram only, attraction platforms, because she was starting from scratch and needed to get discovered. Quarter 2, we layered layered in her engagement platform. So really solidifying those engagement strategies and systems. By then, she'd hopefully have a few people in the membership be running challenges and have a Facebook group to go along with it. Q3, we added in paid ads to scale what was already working. It has been a year since she went through the program, and she's stuck with this plan. She now has a fully built out digital product suite and just under 50 people in her membership, which means she's generating over $1,300 a month in recurring revenue every month, plus individual product sales. She's also added in one-on-one coaching, which has helped her get to that 10K a month mark, right? So even if you have one business model, we've talked about the hybrid business model, and even if you have that idea in mind, you might add in different elements from other business models that help you get to that 10K a month mark and beyond. One of the smartest things you can do with digital products is align your content strategy with your offer suite. There's overlap in the people you're calling in and overlap in the work that you're doing, so you can stay focused on the main thing, the main topic for that entire month. This focus strategy is what makes digital products scalable even when you're starting from zero. Business model number 5, hybrid coaching and product model. Here's the thing. In most cases, you're going to have some version of a hybrid model. Most people, most business owners that I work with have some kind of hybrid model, something that allows you to have a more accessible price point like digital products and a higher ticket offer for coaching or services. It is honestly one of the best ways to pay the bills while also allowing yourself to have lots of space for creativity. Here's the challenge though. I want you to make sure that you're attracting the right person for both offers. I worked with a branding and messaging coach who had been in business for 5 years at this point last year, so 6 years now. She came to our pre-program bonus call struggling with something that I see all the time. People were buying her digital products, but those were not the people who were upgrading to her coaching. Meanwhile, her coaching clients could not care less about her digital products. They were on completely different ends of their own journey, and she felt like she was constantly needing to balance both audience. Does this sound familiar to you? The big reason why she was struggling to hit 10K months is because it felt like she was being pulled in 2 different directions instead of building one cohesive business and, more importantly, one cohesive audience. She had to attract a different audience for the coaching versus the audience that she had for the digital products. And so it felt like she was going in circles, right? And nothing was selling as well as it should based on industry standard conversion rates. And she was very, very frustrated. So during our business model bonus call, we worked on bringing those 2 audiences together so that she could stop feeling torn between the 2. And here's what we found. She'd been in business for a long time and came in with some shame over not having hit 10K months after 5 years. Can we normalize that this just happens to the most amazing business owners? It is a completely normal thing to have happen, right? If you are not focused on the right strategies, it'll feel like you're putting in all this work, but you're just spinning your wheels, right? So we need to work on having the right strategies, the right execution, and the right momentum that we're building towards. She also came in though with a huge advantage. She had tons of assets to work with and a lot of clarity on who she wanted to be helping. As soon as I saw her business model, I gave her some pre-homework. I wanted her to organize her content bank and focus specifically on all of her digital products and offers. When we hopped on our call, I was able to review everything that she had created over the last 5 years. The majority of our call was spent identifying who that coaching client was and reverse engineering her digital products to best suit and support them. We actually ended up doing an additional call here. She ended up upgrading to an additional call just because we could not fit this 5 years of work that she had done into the one bonus session. So just for complete transparency here. But here's what's really interesting. She didn't have to go back to the drawing board and create all new templates. What we needed to shift was the front end messaging and positioning, like the wrapping paper, the front end, how we talk about it. The reason people were signing up needed to shift. So it wasn't the actual products that needed to change. We just needed to change the titles, the messaging, the sign up pages. We focused on 2 key things. The first was a really, like I said, a really simple sales system. So she had grown her list through summits and bundles over 5 years. And so While she had a large list, they were not engaged at all. I've talked about this a lot, but one of the problems with building your audience full of bundles and summits and using those methods is that when people are joining your list through those avenues, they are joining also 20 other people's lists at the same time. They don't really care about you and your message. There's definitely going to be some in there who do, but for the most part, you're getting people who are, not validated, not necessarily your ideal clients, and you haven't done the work to really build the relationship to be like, these are really engaged people on my list. So we worked on cleaning up that email list and creating a clear plan to go from digital product to coaching. The next thing we focused on was increasing the number of conversations that she was having. So how did we get people into the digital products, and how do we get people upgrading from the digital products to coaching? Our main strategy was increasing the engagement and number of conversations that she was having with new clients and new customers coming in. It did not take long until this started to work. Her coaching package started booking out, and she felt ready to dive into the 10K monthly content system with a business model that actually made sense. Your hybrid model works when your digital products serve as a bridge to your higher ticket offers, not when they're competing for completely different audiences. When you nail the messaging and positioning so that your entry-level offers naturally lead into your premium services, you can create a business model that supports sustainable 10K months and beyond. But if you don't have that alignment, it's going to be tough to hit 10K months, let alone expand and scale from there. If you're wanting to learn more about this and how to integrate this 10K monthly strategy into your business, I am so excited to be hosting a 4-day challenge all about how to do that. We get started on September 22nd, so click the link down below to join me and reset your content strategy for more traffic, leads, engagement, and sales. Check out all the links in the descriptions, and then if you found this video helpful, give it a like and hit subscribe to be notified when the next video drops. Until next time, happy empire building.